there was a weather delay, snow came in and the pipes burst, and the whole workflow for plumbing has been altered. We want to make sure that we're capturing all that information so people understand. If that helps make sense.
How does it work with the Insta camera?
It does. So, do you mean the Insta360, like the little guys? The Insta360, the Theta V, we have several other ones that we're working with. These little guys here. And we have some over in our booth. It does work, and you can use these in tandem with, like, you can use both of these units at the same time, or one of the smaller units. The only issue with the smaller units is they don't have a 3D sensor on board. So we use our data that was captured over the years to create them, but the accuracy, if I was going to do a measurement, it's about 92% accurate, because these are not these guys. So this 99 and 99.9. But these smaller ones, we want to make sure that people are able to use them because a lot of people already own them. So that's what we want to do, is to make sure it's enabled. But these devices are used a lot in real estate as well as daily job documentation of a space. But they are usable in different formats.
Yeah, if I'm seeing a set that has a lot of glass,
yes.
Do you have to tag it?
Yes, if it has a lot of glass, what do you do if it has a lot of glass or mirrors or different things like this? We have features in our capture app to just drag a line across, and you can say mirror or different window, and it will then note that. So I just scanned this space beforehand, and I noted this and this wall has glass. It's not entirely necessary, but that helps the stitching process. So it have a bounce back of that infrared light. It doesn't think it's something else. Yes, any CAD system, the output for the Matter pack is an OBJ file, which is your mesh, an XYZ point cloud. In addition, we have different textures. They are JPEG images that are mosaics. They are these automatically generated large pictures that will colorize the point cloud. We also have an MTL file in there, which is the reference file for those images. And when I import it, I bring it into something like Recap, for example. In Recap, this is a path that Autodesk has full reality capture. It's not Matterport's path. So I download that Matter pack, and then I unzip it, and I bring it into Recap, that folder. And then after I process that, you index the different scans. You can bring in different scans, use scans from a drone or from a different laser. Recap allows you to combine point clouds within that space. Target coordinates, those are all the spaces that you want to do it in. Then, after you're finished importing it, it's indexed to those image files, then you have that data is sitting there in Recap. You can view it, you can reduce the walls, delete features, and then you would save it as an RCP or an RCS file, which can then be opened up into virtually any Autodesk program. And other programs, if you use SketchUp, there's an OBJ importer app that you get from their workshop or from their store, and that's how you would bring in this data into SketchUp. So you are able to bring it into virtually any CAD program on the market. Our OBJ and XYZ files are set up for it. Go ahead.
What does your system cost?
How much does it cost? This is about $3,500 US. This device here, the Pro 2, and for a business, it's about $70 a month for the hosting, which is unlimited hosting. We used to have model limits and things. We got rid of all that. You can upload as many as you want. You can scan all day long, and if you want to have just several of these spaces open, you can let them, what we're doing now is we want you to scan. Keep scanning because we don't want people to think that there's a limit on the number of scans that they do. So it's about $70 a month plus the cost of this, but other costs like an iPad. You don't have to buy a new iPad, the iPhone will work. If you have an older iPad mini, I used to use a version 2 iPad mini for years for Matterport. Works fine. So also the iPhone. Tripods, we use Manfrotto, but any of them will work as long as the plug's on top. We also have a quick release cam. So the bottom of the camera has this small square, and this is kind of common in photography. And then it's just a quick release cam on top, but I can also manually screw it in. And then there's this wheel on top that I would just rotate, and then this would be how I would mount it. You don't have to buy this quick release, but that's it, that's the difference. I can attach it like that, or attach it like this. Great, customer support is awesome. I am a sales engineer, so anybody wants to call me, I'm always accessible, but we have a full-time staff in various locations. We have people who are in London, so overnight you can get a person. We also have staff in my office in Chicago. We have 3 folks, and then we have a lot more in California. So that is your support staff. That's phone calls, that's emails, that's helping with models. For example, I went to a pharmacy and I scanned the entire place, and my iPad died, and I had one more staircase to grab. So I used my iPhone, and this was already dead. I scanned that staircase using this to collect with this, and then we combined those 2 models to make the one model for my customer. So we're able to help with that too. It isn't our website, there's no fee for it, but we want to support people if they have those things. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so what's the quantity of data that captures, and how many megabytes or gigabytes
Sure.
to get uploaded to the cloud?
It depends on the size of the space, of course, but this one has
Per scan.
right per scan. It's very small. I know I had 57 scan locations space, and I think it was 200 megabytes. And this is all those scans together. So
it's the image data as well as the scan.
It's the colorized textures. Our high resolution images are going to be based on our cloud. So you would go in there and make photo ready images, and you would bring out JPEGs. The matter pack does not contain those full resolution images. It's just those colorized textures that are able to be used to colorize the point cloud.
Yeah, how many scans can you do in a single
Space?
project?
A lot. I mean, 400. I had a guy do a lot. 1,200 spaces and or scan positions, and it didn't process. It was too much, so I had him divide it up into 3. So about 400 is the max, but the majority of spaces, like there's big pharmacy, huge place, basement, lots of storage. I think I got 150 scan locations, and another one I did was a tech hub. And I did that raising of the heights for the view. That was 260 scan locations, but I could have done it in 120. I could have done it in 100. So it depends. What do I want? Do I want every view? Then that would take longer. Do I want just a quick go through? And that's able to be done anytime. And if you had that small one, you can go back there and add to it. You did this area here, and nothing. If things change, it might get a little hairy. But if it's the same location, scan half it today, come back, scan half tomorrow. In the meantime, process one of them, see what you got, add to it, process it again. So you can do it as many times as you'd like.
The $70 per month subscription, is that including all the processing?
Everything. Processing, 0 overages now. There used to be overages if you had this many models and if one was processed or that. No more overages, it's all included. And if you have hundreds of scan locations or thousands, then you can keep some of them private, archive. And that's what we do, is we don't want you to have to delete a space because you have some limit of storage. So if you have an apartment building that you're working with and you don't need to have the current conditions shown, but you want to be able to send it to somebody for a contractor, a painter. You have to see the exact conditions now. It needs a paint job, okay? So that person can go in there, they can do measurements, and then they can see if it's the right job for them. And that's a big thing. I use the equivalent of, let's say, a roofer. You have a flat roof and an angled roof. And a lot of times those roofers don't do the same work. So you should know that you don't want to count on that person if they're not going to be the one that's going to help you at the end, because their job. So this can help move that forward. All right.
Do you have an example of what the scan looks like?
Yeah, sure. I think.
Just see the resolution.
Doing the public Wi-Fi, so there's definitely more at our booth just over there, but I'll do it here. Why not? good one here somewhere. There's a bar that I scanned. The goal for this scan was it was a bar in Chicago, and no one wanted to see more of it. So I don't know.
All right, it's hard to see my car.
I got great stuff to show, but maybe not. Maybe I'll just give you my card. Some of the crowds
I'll
kind
come by
of
the
fizzled away.
Yeah.
But
Thank you.
talk more. But anyway,
All right, thank you.
any other questions, guys?
That's good.
All right.